How to stop a fight before it starts. I'm Brian Fleming, co-founder of the Marriage Battle Plan, along with my wife Jamie, who is not able to be here with me today, but nonetheless, we still wanted to get this video out to you. And because the whole thing is this, the Marriage Battle Plan helps you communicate clearly in your marriage so your marriage will prosper. All right. Now, every married couple has fights. There are very, very few married couples who have made it, who I know or I've talked to, who say they almost never fight. These people are exceptions. They're not the rule. However, I've talked to a lot of people who have said things like, Brian, I don't understand why my marriage failed. We never even had a fight. Well, that's the reason, because some people obviously were not being honest with each other, and they definitely were not communicating clearly. All right, so what happens is, every married couple has fights. You have disagreements. But the thing is that what is said by one spouse and what is heard by the other spouse are often two very different things, and this creates problems. It escalates things, and all of a sudden, one little comment or remark or concern turns into this full-blown fight and this argument, and now they're not talking to each other, and somebody's self-medicating. However they do that, the kids see it. It ruins everything, all right? So that's the price of not being able to communicate clearly. And in the Marriage Battle Plan, we have a section, there's a concept we talk about. If you've been through the course, you know it. It's called propaganda. Propaganda is basically a communication with an intent to persuade you to think differently. This is often used in political campaigns or in war campaigns, where when you're trying to get a group of people or somebody to believe something, and it's usually not a very honest thing, but nonetheless, we all have propaganda that goes through our head. When we talk to our spouse and we're disagreeing, again, it's propaganda in its easiest sense to describe is the voice of the enemy that's trying to divide you. All right, when I lived in South Korea, I remember going to the DMZ where there were speakers from North Korea facing southward speaking propaganda and how their way of life is so superior to that of South Korea. And the thing about propaganda is this. The whole idea, and there's a lot of truth to it actually, is that if you speak something long enough, loud enough, people will start to buy into it. And sadly, that's true. Another dangerous thing about it is that propaganda, it always contains at least a small shred of truth. Have you ever had an argument with your spouse and you just kind of hit them below the belt with a little bit of truth about something maybe they did? And then you use that to build your argument against them? Look, I've done it. I try not to, and Jamie and I are a lot more aware of it now. But we do these things because when we can insert that truth, then we think we can get our spouse to think our way more and persuade them. And so here's the thing with propaganda. If you don't deal with it, it will destroy your marriage. So here's a quick way you can deal with it. Next time your spouse makes a comment to you, or you make a comment to your spouse and they respond awkwardly or more confrontationally, just stop the whole thing and go, all right, wait a minute. What's the propaganda here? Here's what I said, and here's what I meant by that. What did you hear when I said that? Now you're getting on the same page. And at least if you're disagreeing about the same thing. So the big question is this. What's the propaganda? Next time you're in an argument, it can be about anything. Anything with the kids' soccer game, to a schedule, to something, whatever. But whenever things start to heat up and you feel them escalating, just stop the whole thing. Hit the pause button. Say, all right, what's the propaganda here? What's the story going through your head? Because here's what I said and here's what I meant. What did you hear? Now that right there is going to resolve 90% of your problems. Most people are going to just have a civil discussion from that point, unless there's something else going on. All right, so ask yourself and ask your spouse, what's the story going through your head? What's the propaganda going on here? All right, so if you do this, you can prosper better in your marriage. You can communicate better in your marriage and have a better chance of staying together and not dealing with all the stuff that comes with a divorce and all that, or just living in a marriage where you're miserable every day. All right, so look, if you'd like more videos on how you can communicate better with your spouse, or your marriage will make it and you can enjoy your marriage more and have a more fulfilling marriage, just go to marriagebattleplan.com, sign up for the free resource we have on there. It'll put you on the list to get another weekly video every week that we put out like this. And our intent is to help you communicate clearly with your spouse so your marriage will make it. We believe yours can, and we want to help you do it.